Thank everybody for joining us today. My name is Matt Fico. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator with the Arc of Monroe. And today we have our program of the week highlighting Adult Project Search. And to talk about the program today, we have Karis Happ, who is the Adult Project Search Manager and Certified Autism Specialist at the Arc of Monroe. And we also have Kate Davidson, who is the Director of Transition Services with the Arc of Monroe as well. So a few quick housekeeping things before I hand it off to Karis and Catherine. Kate. Nobody calls you Catherine. We are going to be asking to please mute your lines as you are on the call or on today's meeting, just so we don't have a lot of background feedback. So if you could please mute your line. And then the second thing would be, if you have any questions, if you could please hold those to the end. You could either type any questions you have during the presentation in the meeting chat box, and we'll address those at the end of the meeting. Or at that time, you can unmute yourself and ask any questions to any of us as well. So with all of that, I am going to hand off to our presenters. Thanks, everyone.
So, hi, I'm Karis Happ, as Matt said. I'm the manager for the Adult Project Search program. So I'm gonna hopefully get my PowerPoint up for you guys. I don't know, Kate, do you want to introduce yourself so that they can see your face before we go?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Kate Davidson. Like Matt said, I'm the Director of Transition Services for JobPath at the Arc of Monroe. So I supervise all the ARC's project search programs, along with some other community pre-voc and supported employment services.
Okay. Awesome, thanks. Okay, I'm gonna share my PowerPoint here. So as Matt said, if you guys have questions, you can type them into the search box or save them to the end. But I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our adult project search program. Hopefully, I was telling Matt my computer was working quickly until I'm trying to present it, and then it slowed down for some reason, but hopefully it will catch back up to us here in a minute. Okay. So first, I just put in a picture of this year and last year's group. I left some pictures of last year's group so you can actually see their faces, because this year you'll see all of our pictures we have are masks on. So we have last year's group and this year's group. We normally have 9 interns at a time is our max. Ooh, I clicked forward. So a little bit about our program. So the goal of our program is to give participants the skills they need so that they can work competitively in the community. So that's our goal, is after project search, they should be applying for jobs and be able to get a job and then be able to keep that job with the skills that they've learned through project search and their internships with us. And we also, this is also a great way for us to, clicking ahead. It's a great way for us to build relationships with local businesses and to encourage them to see that hiring people with disabilities can work out really well. And we've seen in our project search program that often the business that we have our internship at will hire some of the good interns from us. So we say it's almost like a year-long interview process, because once they see the interns working and doing a great job, then a lot of times they are interested in hiring the interns, which is great. So who are our partners for this program? For the job readiness, we have stuff from OPWDD and the ARC. So that's, I teach the morning classes and I'm employed through the ARC. And we also work with Access VR, and so they provide support for people throughout the program, and then they also help transition people to supported employment after they graduate from project search. We work with the University of Rochester Medical Center, and then we also work with a business. And so I did leave the business blank right now because we're still trying to determine exactly which business we're going to be working with next year, but we have been in talks with Del Monte, and it sounds like we might be able to go back to them. But if not, we will definitely find another business that has lots of different good internship possibilities. Go forward. Some more about us. It's a one-year program, so we call Project Search a one and done program, which means that it's one calendar year, and when you graduate, as I said, we expect you to pursue competitive employment after graduation. So that's our goal, and we hope that it's the goal of people that join the program as well. We follow the Arc of Monroe calendar. I said that because I know student project searches follow a student calendar, so they have summer break and winter break, but we do not do that. We follow the Arc of Monroe's calendar, so we do have some days off like Christmas, a couple federal holidays, but we don't have extended breaks, like no spring break or anything like that. So as I said, we have 9 participants, 1 instructor, which is myself, and then we have 2 employment specialists that work with us as well. So a little about what the timeline is. We'll be starting the day after Labor Day in September, and we have a 2-week orientation. So that's kind of for us to get to know the interns, to talk to the interns about what our expectations are and what the business's expectations are, and to give them a chance to get to know the business. And we also go through the employee handbook and whatever else the business wants us to cover. And then they'll start their first internship. So the first internship lasts about 14 to 16 weeks. And then in between each internship, we have what we call Work Readiness Week. And during that week, we will be in our hub all week and we'll talk about job readiness skills. And then we also have a chance to meet with the intern and all of their support. So normally it's parents, the care coordinator, their access counselor, myself, and whichever employment specialist they're working with. And we talk about what went well during the internship, what needs to be worked on, and set some goals for the next internship. So then we do that 3 times. But we finish in about mid-August, and we have a graduation celebration. And then we continue to meet for a couple of weeks just to give interns time to adjust to not being in program as much every day as they start to meet with their job coaches and applying for jobs, just to give a little transition time. And then we would finish it at the end of August, and hopefully the interns would be looking for a job. Our typical day, we start at 8 a.m. and from 8 a.m. till 9 a.m. we have what we call our hub time, which is kind of our classroom time. So we talk about work readiness and employability skills. So here I have a picture of 2 of our interns from this year, made a PowerPoint about how to answer interview questions. So we do talk about things to prepare for a job like resumes and interviews, but we also talk about a lot of stuff to get you through the job, like how to interact with your coworkers if they're breaking a rule, what should you do, and if kind of what's appropriate to talk about at work. So we do a lot of social skills. And then we also talk about other things like budgeting and other things to help them become independent outside of work as well. Then at 9 a.m., our interns go to their internships until noon. They have, I don't know why it keeps bouncing ahead. They have lunch from noon, from 12 to 12:30. And then from 12:30 to 2, they go back to their internships. And then from 2 to 2:30, we meet back up and we talk about the day, what went well, if anything happened that needs to be learned from, then we talk about that. And we'll recap on whatever the topic was that we talked about in the morning hub. And then the interns go home at 2:30. Some different internship opportunities that we've done in the past are houseman, laundry, food and nutrition, catering, dishwashing, lobby attendant, maintenance, and engineering. So in the past, when we've worked with Del Monte Hotel, we've done all of these internships. And then this year, we were actually partnered with Rochester Regional Health, and we've been working at Unity Hospital and St. Mary's. And we've been doing a lot of the same ones of like we've been doing food and nutrition, environmental services, maintenance, recreation, So some similar jobs. And so that's wherever we go. If it's back to Del Monte or someplace else, we'll definitely have a variety of different jobs for people to try. So what the internships look like is, so you spend about 4.5 hours doing your internship each day. Then each internship is for, like I said, 14 to 16 weeks so that people can really get to know the internship and hopefully become independent on the job. So at the beginning, the job coach is there a little bit more, but then as they get better, then we try to check in less. There's always a job employment specialist on site, but they're not always with the interns because there's 9 of them. So we split it up. And our goal is really to learn transferable skills. So yes, to learn the skills of sweeping, let's say, but what we really want is for the interns to learn how to problem solve on their own or how to build skills so that they can look for a job after this. It is unpaid. And we ask for feedback and assessments from their supervisors and coworkers at the business. So we provide our feedback, but at those end of rotation meetings during work readiness week, we also will go over the assessments that we've received from the supervisors. And we check in with the supervisors regularly just to make sure that we're providing employees and, you know, our interns are up to the standards of their employees and what they would like to see differently. So I have some short videos about adult project search. So I'm going to play them for you guys.
Growing up, I didn't really think of myself as a person with disabilities, and I wouldn't have thought I needed help. I was a bit hesitant at first, and I thought, I don't need this. Now that I'm actually in the program, I'm very grateful that I am, and it's been helping.
Our project search program is for adults with intellectual disabilities that are looking to work in the community. The internship is immersed in the business, and it really is a job.
I came involved to this project search to make some new friends and learn what it's like to have a real job.
It's something that all of us that have had the pleasure of doing so have really gotten a lot out of it. It benefits so many of us, both the interns as well as the hotels themselves.
We work on so many different aspects of the job, and it involves a lot of soft skill building, getting to work on time, being professional, making eye contact when you talk to someone, being clear, being heard, saying no if you need to say no. All those soft skills that are so important in a job that do carry on to personal lives.
Project search has helped me progress in myself. I've noticed improvements, not just in work, but also in my personal life and how I process ideas and thoughts about myself. I can advocate for myself more. I can take initiative. So a good thing that Project Search has done for me is help me become more assertive, I guess, in how I work.
They're really very ready and prepared to go out into the work world when they leave.
Come to the project search. They are a good people to work with. They're nice. They help you with your work. They are good teachers. And I like to come here every day.
Okay, so this video series kind of goes through those 3 interns finding a job. So we're going to do the next part too.
So today's goal was to go through a process of mock interviews for the interns to give them that practice of what it would really be like to go out, apply for a job, and what it's really going to be like when they're done and they graduate in June.
Everybody's a little nervous. I can tell the energy. Everybody's a little nervous. It's good nervous though, not too much. We've practiced so much, a lot of questions. We've gone through a lot of training.
Learning to be professional, making sure that they're behaving appropriately and professionally.
But all the skills are transferable, and this interview piece is essential. It's really important. It's great practice.
I just went in with one of the managers of the hotel. We treated it just like a real interview. She asked me many questions about my past experiences and skills, and I answered to the best of my abilities.
It was really good. He asked me like good questions, and I answered with complete sentence, and I did actually really good. And then I asked him questions too.
It was amazing. I might be getting a job here. I don't know yet though.
It's a great thing to see from day one when they start the program to go through this whole process, that they've really learned and they've grown, the enthusiasm, the confidence that they find through this program. They're really showing a great deal of confidence, and I saw that today in the mock interviews.
Watching the interns really truly blossom and become independent, it's just a wonderful thing to see. It's great to be a part of that.
I think I've grown a lot since the beginning.
Once this is over, everyone's truly ready for an interview in competitive employment.
Out of all the things I could have hoped for to come out of this program, this particular position was really everything I could have asked for. So yeah, it's wonderful.
That's the last part.
I was excited when I got the job. Seth called me on my cell phone to say I got the job.
I felt good. Like I really like working here.
It makes me feel happy.
Sam completed his last rotation for Project Search at the Hilton Garden Inn in College Town, and he was working as a dishwasher there. Towards the end of the program, he had applied for a maintenance position there at the Hilton Garden Inn, and we went through the process, and he interviewed, and he was offered the position, and he accepted it.
Once they get employed, I'm with them for the first 90 days. After that, the extended coach comes in.
This job, you have to make sure the lobby is clean, the bathrooms for the guests and the managers and stuff. You have to make sure everything is perfect, it's clean.
So Sam is currently working with a job coach, and his job coach stops by and visits him at his job site to help him with any issues that come up.
I wash all the dishes from the rooms and stuff with an intern named Peter from Project Search this year. It's been going busy. There's a lot of dishes.
It's a lot of a feeling out thing because, everybody learns at different paces. So it really depends. Sometimes what I typically do is for the first 2 weeks, I like to be with them, 80 to 100% of the time. If I feel that they're more comfortable without me being there, I might come a little less. So I might come 2 times the following week. Like I said, it's more of like a feeling out process. But if I feel that in the 3rd week, they still need that 100% coaching or that, 80 to 100% coaching, then I'm going to be there for the majority of the time throughout their whole shift.
When I spoke to Sam about his job, he told me that he loves his job, and he's very happy that that is the route that he took.
To me, I look at it as more as I want to build confidence in the individuals. It's not so much them just getting a job. It's about being confident of getting the job and doing well at your job.
Okay. I feel like I can do anything now.
Okay. Yeah. So all 3 of those, Sam, Kiana, and Melissa, all got hired through the Del Monte hotels when we were working with them. But so let me tell you a little bit about transportation. So part of becoming independent and us encouraging interns to become more independent is we want them to explore different transportation options. So we'll assist them with mobility training, with RTS access, or just a regular RTS, depending if they qualify for RTS access or not. But so we'll assist them with either figuring out their routes or figuring out how to schedule their RTS access rides, because we really want to make sure that when the interns graduate, they're ready to be independent and to apply for their jobs. So we will provide transportation through Arc Transportation at the beginning of the program, just to give people time to apply to RTS access or figure out their RTS routes or figure out what transportation they'll be using to get there. But we do not provide it the entire time because, like I said, our goal is really to help the interns to become independent. So some of our expectations for the program. So we expect that people will maintain professional hygiene and also dress professionally depending on the department. So some departments have different dress codes. In general, we have people wear black non-slip shoes, black dress pants, and then the shirts will really depend. Some departments will give shirts that they want interns to wear, or we might ask them to wear like a professional blouse or a polo shirt, or a button-up shirt, depending on what department they're working in. We expect 95% attendance rate. So as I said, we don't have the extended school breaks or the extended Christmas break because we want to get the interns used to what it's like to work a real job. And so when you're working a real job, you don't get off 2 weeks for Christmas generally. And so we expect our interns to show up 95% of the time, which works out to be about 1 day a month can be missed. And that's generally if you are sick or have a doctor's appointment or something like that, because we really want to see people having good attendance because that is such a key part of getting a job. And of course, to just follow all of the rules of the workplace. If they need to take medication during the day, then they need to be able to self-administer their medication. We also expect the interns to be willing to take directions from whether it be job coaches, coworkers, and be open to changing their behavior and adjusting as they're given feedback. And we also expect them to maintain appropriate behavior and social skills in the workplace. And as I said, this is something that we work with them a lot. And so I think really that being able to take direction is a very important part of it, because then we're able to help if something comes up. If there's like a social skills issue, then we can assist them as long as they're willing to work with us. Then we also just want them to communicate with us. So the eligibility, you must be HCBS waiver enrolled and eligible for community pre-vocational services, have a desire and plan to work, and be willing to apply for Access VR. And that's something I do want to emphasize again, is just having the desire and plan to work. So if we really want the people joining Adult Project Search to want a job after program and to be ready and willing to apply for a job. So that's it's really important that the intern themselves have that desire and motivation to work. So a little bit about the next steps. Matt, would you like to talk a little bit about the next steps?
Yes, of course, Kara. Sorry, I was on mute. Couldn't
No,
get
it's
myself
okay.
off. Yeah, so the next steps, if you are interested in applying for Adult Project Search, is you would get in touch with your care coordinator or care manager. You'd want to make sure that there is an application process for Adult Project Search. So we have general ARC referral, which I see we have the referral application page there. And then also there's an Adult Project Search addendum, which is also on that same referral page. If you currently do not have a care coordinator or not enrolled in OPWDD services, you would first need to make sure that you have eligibility through OPWDD and also have the waiver service approval for community pre-vocational services. which is what adult project search is considered. So basically, just, like I said, if you do have a care coordinator, make sure you get in touch with them to get the process started. They can reach out to either myself or Carmela Whaley, who is our enrollment coordinator. We'll make sure we can help them kind of get any steps along the way or any additional questions. And then once we get the referral, we send it off to the project search team to review. And if everything looks good, they will call you in for an interview to get hopefully get enrolled in the program. I don't think did I miss anything? I think I hit it.
Sounds good to me.
All right, good.
Okay, and then the last thing that I had to show you guys is this is from last year's intern group. Oops, I had assigned them with making a commercial, so they wrote this commercial themselves and then performed it. I did film it, so it's a little shaky, but not quite professional quality, but I think it's kind of a fun thing to show. So I will show you their commercial.
Welcome to Project Search.
Airport Marriott, when the locations of Project Search.
What's the job here?
Let me show you around. All right, here at Project Search, the internships we have here are laundry, dish, washing, maintenance, delivery, food, and lobby attendant. Let me show you our classroom. Right this way, please. Okay, sorry. And in the morning, we come to the classroom to sign in with the notebook, and we learn about like safety, food, interviews, and body language. We are in the classroom from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I hope you have a good day. Oops.
During the day, most of us are at our internships. Some of us are still in the classroom reviewing things. We get a half an hour lunch break. After our internships, we return back to the classroom and recap on what we discussed in the morning. And then we head back home.
We'd love to have you in Project Search next year. To get more information about Project Search, you can talk to your care coordinator, or you can go to our Arc Monroe location, or you can visit us on our website.
I don't know, it cut out, but the website is arcmonroe.org. Okay, so that is all I had. So questions, and also this is Matt's information if anybody needs it to write down.
And I did also add into the chat box both my email and also Carmela's email as well. So if you do need to get in touch with us, you can email us and we'll be happy to answer any questions, to discuss more about the program, and also for the referral submission itself. So for the questions, we do have a few. And again, if anybody does have questions, feel free, you can type them in the chat box right now, or you can unmute yourself and feel free to ask the questions out loud as well, if you prefer. So the first question we have is from Gina. It says, does RTS Access limit the amount of rides per week? Oh, I'm sorry, Kate, Kate did answer that, but.
Yeah, no, they do not. They do limit the numbers that you can call and schedule at a time. They only let you schedule 6 rides at a time, but you can have as many rides as you like. But they actually, now they have an RTS Access just released an app, so you actually could schedule more than 6 rides at a time on the app. So.
And then Laura has a question, says, do you have any spots available for September?
Yes, so we do. So we're starting the interview process. So we're setting up interviews for like mid to late June is what we're aiming for. So yeah, if you're interested in applying, definitely reach out to Matt or Carmela, and you can get the application process started. We'll have, so every year, everyone graduates. So we have 9 spots this year as well. We have 9 spots.
In September.
In September. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll be starting the day after Labor Day.
Okay.
I see the comment from Paula says the program sounds wonderful. Hopefully you'll be able to expand to other areas. Project Search is actually a registered program, and it is an international program. So there are project searches all over the world. If you Google Project Search, you'll get all sorts of information, lots of videos. You'll get to see a ton of different locations. So here in Rochester, there's actually 3 student project search programs. So those are 18 to 21-year-old transition programs, as well as 2 adult programs. So there are lots of project search programs all over.
Yep. Question from Jennifer says, if they participate in project search, is it only a year program and can they never do another project search again? Says this is what Access VR told the family about project search.
That's kind of not 100% definite. So this last year, Project Search has gotten a little bit more flexible because of the pandemic, and some people didn't get the full experience, so they have been letting people come back. We've had some instances where very few, and it has to be approved by Project Search National, but if somebody has completed the program and maybe we know that like one more rotation is just going to get them to that spot that we want them with employment, then we can talk to Access or talk to OPWDD, talk to Access, talk to Project Search, and get that approved. But generally, yes, it's a one and done program. Usually people do at one time and then they're moving to the next step.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and that's true for like the other, so there's one other adult project search in the area, and so that would be true for generally if you do one project search, you don't go do the other project search. It's just a 1-year thing and then you're done, and hopefully looking for a job.
Do you have any questions, Lori? No. Okay. I have a question.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Lori has worked with pets before. Is there an opportunity that she may be able to do that again through your program? I know we joined a little late, but, or is it manufacturing and the job descriptions that you had mentioned in the video?
Yeah, so we have not worked with an employer that had pets as an option previously. We are currently looking for what our employer is going to be next year. But my guess is that it will stay in like the hospitality realm. So in the past, we've worked through the Del Monte Hotel Group. So we've done kind of food and nutrition, or, food service, catering, dishwashing, maintenance, housekeeping.
Lori has Prader-Willi syndrome, so she should not be working around food or with food.
So there's lots of other, there's like, we have environmental services or laundry. There's house person at the hotels or maintenance. And we've had we've had housekeeping. So there's a variety at the hotels. And if we're not at the hotels, like this year we were at the hospitals. So again, it's a very similar internships, but still we have not worked with an employer yet that had the opportunity for pets.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. We have a question from Kristen. It says, what is the employment status on your grads?
Yeah. So, well, go ahead.
So that's a kind of like a threefold question. So when we, this particular project search program, our adult project search program, started out as a workshop to work transition program. So it was actually a day hab without walls originally. Then we changed to community pre-voc. Then we had the pandemic. So I'm not really comfortable in giving like straight stats here on that, just because it's changed so much. Project Search National has all sorts of statistics, but I would say every year, our graduates, every one of our graduates leaves with a plan to employment. So not everybody, just like everybody in the world, not everybody is 100% ready to move right into Access VR funded supported employment at the end of the program. So sometimes people move into ETP, which is funded through OPWDD, the Employee Training Program, which provides a little bit more support. It's still considered competitive employment, but it's a little bit more supportive. Occasionally we have interns who aren't ready for that yet, and they move to a different community pre-voc program. But everybody is on that path to employment. Last year's group is hard to tell because that was during the pandemic, but the previous group, I want to say everybody got employed. Am I right, Karis?
I don't actually know off the top of my head. I do think that year, I know the hotels hired a large number of them. So I would say if not 9 out of 9, probably like 7 or 8 out of 9 for that year. And of course, last year, like Kate was saying, like we graduated in August of last year. So it was not prime hiring season.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
My question is this paid training or?
Nope, it's unpaid.
I'm sorry?
It's unpaid.
Oh, okay. So when when your clients go to a job and work, it's unpaid?
Oh, no. Yes. Well, while they're in the adult project search program, it is unpaid for their internships. But then when they graduate, the goal is for them to get a paid job, like in like the competitive field.
Okay. So all right. So they do not get paid while they're in training, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
There was a question from Chris and Madison Mintz. Says, what is the other adult project search opportunity besides Del Monte Lodge? Thank you.
So the other adult project search program, the adult agency is Heritage Christian Services. They were with Jewish Senior Life. Am I correct? Yeah, Jewish Senior Life. Yeah, but I'm not sure with the pandemic. I think last year they were not running or very small. So I'm not sure what they'll be doing this next year.
I think a lot of project searches, I discovered that in the nation where a lot of the project searches went online this past year and just did kind of home skills. But so I'm not sure what your Senior Life project search did. That's why we had, of course, the pandemic is why we had to change locations because the hotels weren't having business. So that's why we had to switch to the hospitals because we wanted to still provide real internship experience. And that just wasn't possible at the hotels this past year. So that's why we switched locations.
Yeah, and again, just to be clear too, that the other adult project search in our area is through a different agency. So it's not through the Arc of Monroe. But I also, go ahead. Sorry, Kate.
Oh, I just want to mention, we keep saying Del Monte. It was the Del Monte Hotel Group. So our internships aren't just at the Del Monte Lodge. They were at the Hilton Garden Inn in College Town, the Courtyard Marriott in Brighton, the Rochester Airport Marriott, and then the Del Monte Lodge in Pittsford. So, like Kara said, we're talking with them. They're hopeful that their business is starting to pick back up, and we're really hopeful that we'll be able to go back there in September. We may not use all 4 of those hotels. It really depends on their business. Right now, things are getting better, so we're all really excited and hopeful that we're returning there, but there is a chance that, who knows what will happen between now and September. So,
yeah. Right.
And I was just going to jump in a second too. And you all brought up a really good point about, so people that go through this program, if they aren't hired on or, the evaluation just maybe the person needs a little additional seasoning and maybe some or other internship just because they can't go into another adult project search program or can't revisit project search again, doesn't mean, there's other pre-vocational opportunities with the ARC too. And so normally what will happen at the end, if at the end of that year, Kate and Karis will get with our department and kind of discuss maybe some other opportunities, and we can reach out and talk to at that point. But yeah, it doesn't, just because you can't repeat adult project search doesn't mean there's not opportunities to go into other Pre-Voc programs if the person is not ready for community employment.
Yeah, that's a good point. We definitely were not leaving anyone at
Right.
like, okay, we're done, get out. Like, we want to make sure that everyone has a plan, like Kate was saying, for employment, because that is our goal for everyone. So even if they're not quite ready, then yes, we'll work with the team to look for another community pre-vocational service for them. It just won't be a project search.
Mhm. Okay.
Thanks. Anybody else have any
You got
questions?
anything?
No.
Okay.
I just have a quick question, if I may.
Yeah.
Of course.
So let's say that my son, I go through the process of applying and he gets accepted. I know you have a couple locations like the Amani group and the hospital, and I can't remember the other place. But anyways, how are those placements decided? Do you take parent input? Do you take student input? Do you do some kind of assessment where the child or the adult's strength might be and then place them that way? And if it's not a successful placement, what happens?
So yeah, so we'll just be working with one business. So we'll either be like Del Monte or the hospital or someplace else. So everyone would be at the same business. But as for the jobs themselves, we talk. So during our first couple of weeks of orientation, we talk a lot about what the different jobs entail and ask the interns what they're interested in. We talk a lot about what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are to try to figure out what will be a good fit. If a job truly isn't a good fit, then we would look for another internship for them. But we really try to encourage the interns to give it a shot. I think some of the interns they might not like their job because they don't like one aspect of it or something. So we'll try to encourage people that sometimes in work we might have to do part of a job that we don't really like that much, but that's the way that the world works. So we try to find jobs that are a good fit for the intern's strength and for their interests. But we do try to encourage them to stick it out too if they aren't sure that it's a good fit once they've started it. But if it's really not a good fit, then we would look for another internship for them at the same business.
That makes sense. Great. Thank you.
I see Maggie. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm just gonna take over. Maggie asked, "Can you do an internship at Wegmans?" So Wegmans actually has their own project search program. It's a student transition program. We're not partnered with them. That's Lifetime Assistance is the adult agency that works with that program. I think it's important to talk about that project search. Every project search, the goal is really to work on those transferable work skills. So it's not really about where you're doing your internship. It's about the skills that you're learning to get you ready for work. So a lot of our adult project search interns have been hired by Wegmans. They're actually, in Rochester, all the project search host businesses. So there's Wegmans, the City of Rochester, University of Rochester Medical Center, Jewish Senior Life. Because they all work with project search, they're all very welcoming to project search graduates to apply. So we see a large number of our graduates, not just in the adult program, but in our student programs, getting hired by Wegmans as well. So just because you don't do an internship there doesn't mean you can't get a job there. Welcome.
A lot of good questions.
No.
Anybody else have any questions for us today?
No.
Any
Okay.
question?
Well, and like I said too, this is, this webinar was being recorded. So after today's, after we're done today, we will get it uploaded to our YouTube page, and then anybody who's registered for today too, will be able to access the YouTube video. And then also you could also share it with friends or family or anybody else you think might be interested in learning more about the program as well. So especially for the people who weren't able to jump on until a little bit later, you can catch the beginning of everything that we talked about today too. And then also, like I said, if you scroll up into your chat, in case you didn't get it yet, you can get Carmela's email, my email, with any additional questions on the program to find out how to complete well, not necessarily how to complete, but at least where to get the referral packet, and then where it goes to and all that good stuff. So we'll be happy to help you out with that too.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
If there's
Thank you.
no question. Oh, Carmela's typing something.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Same, thanks. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Karis.
Hi, Maggie.
I miss you.
Okay, well, you can do adult project search. That's where I work now.
Yay!
You gotta apply.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, Maggie. Take care.